Press. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Saturday. This is Devils After Dark, coming to you live from American Whiskey. 51 Innocent Place, across the street from Prudential Center, next to Championship Plaza, the playoff-bound New Jersey Devils. Woo! Yeah, baby.
Feels good.
I'm your host, Sam Wu, here with the crew. Beer Baron, the emergency backup broadcaster. Scotty is on assignment right now, Beer Baron, but you wanted to partake in the celebration with that nice X next to the Devils' name in the standings. What a game tonight. Lots of drama. 5-3 victory over the Ottawa Senators. Beer Baron, welcome to the party.
Dude, listen, I'm not as prepared as Scotty is with all the notes that he takes, because I don't even know how he does that. I sit there and I watch the game, and I got to tell you, there's at points where I felt really good about the game. I felt really bad about the game. There was points in the game where I was like, all right, cool. We're going to walk away with this one. It's going to be an easy victory, and we don't even need the Rangers to beat the Panthers tonight. And then there's a point where I'm like, okay, thank you, Rangers, for beating the Panthers tonight, so we can just clinch and be over with that. Because I was like, there's no... I felt like I was like, yeah, this is great. And I was like, what the hell is happening? Why does this keep happening?
I felt like
everybody in the background at American Whiskey? How you guys doing back there?
I felt,
Party,
honestly, Beer Baron, I felt like it was a handicap kind of game. It's like we're trying to challenge ourselves. Out of nowhere, Mackenzie Blackwood makes the start tonight for the New Jersey Devils. We want to welcome in everybody from YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Beer Baron, well, Scotty does this very well, the Happy Devils recap. You're going to have to be my crutch here, but the Devils, Senators, before the game started, if the Florida Panthers lose, the Devils are in. The Devils win tonight, they're in automatically. So it doesn't matter what happens, but the Rangers were down 2-0 to the Florida Panthers. Then they miraculously came back. Florida made it interesting, the 4-3. But the game went on, and in the first period, well, Mackenzie Blackwood gets the start. Beer Baron, what were your thoughts on that in the beginning? Because we thought it was Vanacek on Game Day Live.
Yeah, honestly, that was a bit of a surprise, to say the least, because I saw Ruff say that both Wood and Blackwood were going to be available to play. And now, available to play could mean many different things. Like, usually, like, when the coach says, like, oh, yeah, so-and-so is available to play, it usually means they have, like, they're close, but they're not all the way back yet.
Yeah.
Or, maybe next game they're going to be coming back. And instead, we get the surprise that not only is Miles Wood drawing into the lineup, not only is Mackenzie Blackwood drawing into the lineup, but we're going to be rolling with 7 defensemen. So it was an interesting lineup, to say the least, but they know what they're doing. So they kind of figured it out. But I'll tell you what, it was a bit of a shock. He hasn't played since, I think, February 19th. And,
well, let's go to the first period, Beer Baron. Ottawa didn't waste any time testing Mackenzie Blackwood. That guy, Brady Tkachuk, scores his 33rd goal of the season with an assist by Tim Stützle. It made it 1-0 Ottawa 3 minutes and 14 seconds into the first period. And then that's when I tweeted out, Beer Baron, are we tanking for Connor Bedard? Sarcasm. Sarcasm. Total sarcasm.
I know you'll get hated on for that one, but yeah, total sarcasm.
Yeah, total sarcasm. And you know what? We're trying to be funny. We know it's almost a shoe-in. But Ottawa 1-0 with Mackenzie Blackwood in net. A lot of moans and groans from Devils fans all over social media how they cannot defend this like they did with Corey Schneider. But you know what? We know who the New Jersey Devils are. And, Jack Hughes, unassisted, his 40th goal of the season, or you may say 41st, I don't know. 40th goal of the season. Pull out the 40 ounces, Beer Baron. Yep. It's tied 1-1 midway into the first period. Power play goal, unassisted by Jack Hughes.
Yeah, and it was a beauty. It was a 100% Jack, style goal. There's a little, when he had kind of found that lane, it was making his way through there. I don't know what the hell was going on behind him, but one of the Senators defensemen lost his stick, got tied up with somebody, and the stick went flying up in the air, and it kind of like created the lane that Jack, found his way through. And it's one of those perfect little, it doesn't have to be like a super dangle where you're putting it on your backhand, going bar down on it. It's just like a shifty little move, and you just kind of tuck it in. Doesn't have to be super fancy, but it's like the perfect goal, and it works every time. And that's like, I feel like that's become like Jack's little signature move, like that little whip, and then just like slide it in 5-hole, slide right into that goalie's DMs. But Jack, I know a lot of people were afraid that something was seriously wrong with him. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh man, ever since the All-Star game, he's just not been right."
Yeah,
and rightfully so. There's been games where, he just hasn't looked right. But then you saw it coming. Like, you saw he was starting to get there. In that overtime loss that they had the other day where they lose with 0.2 seconds or, 2 seconds left on the clock, Jack hit the inside of the post. And it was just a completely lucky bounce that game didn't go into a shootout. Then you see what he does last game.
Yeah.
And then you see what he does. He had a hat trick, except one of those, goals got called off, which we should be used to that by now. But you see that he's starting to come back. You feel like he's starting to feel his swag again, So for anybody that was worried about Jack, it feels like he's starting to heat up at the right time. And that's exactly what this team needs.
And absolutely. And a little bit before that, in the first period, explain to me Brady Tkachuk and Yegor Sharangovich, because that's where the drama really started. We all know about Brady Tkachuk, what happened at the All-Star game with Jack Hughes. It kind of lingered. Us fans were speculating on social media, even on this podcast. Beer Bear, I want to hear your take on it, because I'm not a big fan of the Tkachuk brothers. But like what you said, if they were on our team, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll take them.
The kind of player that you love to hate, like those guys that if you're playing against them, you hate to play against them, because not only are they big and tough, both of them are I think, at 75-plus penalty minutes for the season or something like that. But they're big, they're physical, they're going to score. So they'll make you pay for it, and then they'll go and score. But what was ridiculous, and what I thought it was absolutely, amazing that Miles Wood stepping into the lineup tonight goes back to doing something that Miles Wood used to do a hell of a lot more, which is go in and stand up for somebody. He went it toe-to-toe with Tkachuk, and I'll tell you what, held his own. And not just that, it's ridiculous that he gets a 10-minute misconduct penalty. And I would love to hear the clarification on that, too. Like, I would love to hear what the referees had to say to Lindy Ruff, because if you watch Lindy Ruff's reaction, he was like, this is BS. Like, there's no way that he should have gotten a 10-minute misconduct for that as well. But, hey, listen, sometimes you it's the price you have to pay, because if you're going to fight in the league nowadays, they're always going to be looking for that. They're always going to be looking to tag somebody with that extra 10, just because they're trying to wean it out of the game. And it's apparent, it's been apparent for years, but whatever. It didn't kill him. It didn't hurt him. Even though, like,
this is why you need a great penalty kill. That's why you have a great penalty kill, because you have to stand up for your teammates. And I'm a big believer about that. I'm not talking about the old days where everything was orchestrated or there was some kind of pre-planned preconditions of a fight going on before a game. This was Miles Wood sticking up for his teammate. Also, I don't know it looked like to me you should have zeroed out how. Like, I agree with you. Like, how did Miles Wood get the misconduct, the instigator, all that stuff? I don't really know. But let's just move on, to the second period. Beer Baron tied 1-1. Tied 1-1. And Devils. I thought they started off a little bit slow, Beer Baron. And
yep.
Sorry, I'm trying to get into my app right now. Now I'm just like. I don't know how Scotty does this.
It's because he takes physical notes the entire time. But,
yeah, and I was too busy having some wings.
Having wings and doing what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second period starts, and like I said, it was one of those things where, going into the second period, we didn't know what was going to happen. We felt like the momentum was kind of there. Jack scoring that goal was huge. I think if the Devils go, into that second period down 1-0, it's a completely different feel and probably a completely different game. But Jesper Bratt scores 2:24 into the period, and shortly after, and this is where it starts to make a big difference. Shortly after, you have Dawson Mercer scoring at 3:33. Sam, sorry guys, Sam's just meeting and greeting a fan.
Yeah.
But anyways, Dawson Mercer goes in. He scores, almost a minute and 10 seconds after, a minute and 9 seconds to be precise, after Jesper Bratt scores. At that point is where I was saying before, where I felt like, all right, this game's in the bag. Like, we're done. We're good. We're wrapping it up. Yep. It felt like they had control of the game. They were pinning Ottawa down in Ottawa's zone and just moving the puck at will. And at points, like, taking, shots from the point, getting dirty down low. And I was like, man, they're really starting to put the pressure on. It feels like they're going to walk away with this game. And then Shabbat scored.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it. All right, 3-2. Actually, no, didn't that? No. What happened next was Ottawa scored a goal, but they called it off.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
After Mercer's goal. Ottawa scored a goal to make it 3-2, and then they got called off. And then I was like, okay, all right, take a little breather. And then it was like, nope, they scored again. And then Ottawa ties it up before the end of the period. And it just felt like, oh, come on. Like, how do we're not going to last in the playoffs if we can't hold a damn two-goal lead. Like, it's not going to sustain itself. So, yes, amazing night tonight. Jack getting 40 goals. Mercer hitting 69 points. Real nice, real nice. The Devils hitting 100 points in the season, which they haven't done in like a decade. And the fact that they clinched a playoff spot, even though, yes, the Rangers beat the Panthers, so that was the main reason why they got into the playoffs, was they clinched it before the end of the game. But you know what? Then they went on and won the game to be like, nope, we did it on our own.
Yep.
Thank you for the help, but we got it. So it was a good game, but there's a lot of things that happened in this game that you're like, we need to tighten this up. We need to clean this up. We need to tighten this up. And yes, it's awesome having Mackenzie Blackwood come back and have a decent game, have a pretty good game. It's good to see that he came back and wasn't super rusty and let out, like 5 or 6 goals or something like that, especially against a super dangerous team like the Ottawa Senators, who, by the way, are only 5 points out of the playoff race. So let's make sure that everybody remembers, like, it's not like the Senators are like a dumb team on the bottom of the league. They're still a decent, good young team. They're like the Devils in a lot of ways, under 25. They're a heavy-hitting team, led by Brady Tkachuk. But Devils found a way. Tatar sealed, Dougie Hamilton, we go into the third period. Dougie Hamilton scoring a goal. Fast forward all the way to the end. Scotty, I'm sorry that I'm like screwing up all your notes. And he's probably like screaming somewhere. He's like bleeding from the ear somewhere. But
I'm sure he is.
He's like, he probably is. But Tatar's sealing the deal with an empty netter. I mean, like, it was just a game where, like, it felt good to take that sigh of relief at the end. Thank God they won. Thank God they clinched the playoffs. Now we can start to worry. Now that you're clinched, here's the question I have for you and all the fans out there. You make the big push to win the Metro? Or do you say, all right, now we're in, let's really tinker with the lines, let's really see what we have to work on, and use from now until the playoffs as more of like a fine-tuning? I mean, yes, you could do both. You could really push for the top of the Metro, and you could really try to get, win a division. But at the same time, like, you want to make sure you're still getting this team mentally prepared, because the last 7 games have not been the best stretch that this team has had in a while.
Yeah, well, just want to also say that Tatar had the empty net goal in the end there. He sure, and oh my goodness, I'm not prepared for this, Beer Baron. Somebody got an assist. Oh no!
What's that?
Of course, I didn't even, because that didn't even show up on the game sheet when I started the podcast, so I wasn't sure if. Well, I guess we have a football call. How do we do this, Beer Baron?
I don't know, bud. I don't know.
I'll have to figure it out. Hold on a sec.
But
Hold on.
Max, I do. As you're setting it up, Max, I do agree. Like, I do agree that you should do both, and you can easily do both. You can push for the top of the division and try to win the division, and also be tinkering with the lines and everything else. It's just that, I guess the point that I was trying to make is, you just go hell's bells, or do you just try to say, like, all right, let's see, is Vanacek going to be number 1? Is Mackenzie Blackwood going to be number 1? Is it going to be like, all right, well, what goalie are we going to be riding into the playoffs? Because we all think and know that it's going to be Vanacek, right? But what if Lindy's sitting here saying, like, no, he wants to get Blackwood a couple of games before to get him tuned up, and what if Blackwood starts to get hot? Do you go back to Vanacek? You stick with Blackwood? It's one of those hot hands. Like, whoever's really playing well net, I think is going to dictate how this team goes.
Yeah.
Right, now you can go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm trying to set up. I wasn't aware of it. I knew Tatar got the goal, and then he sure got the assist, but I didn't know the other guy got the assist because it didn't show up on the score sheet when I started this podcast. So just give me a moment, folks, because now everybody in the YouTube Live, I see isotoner gloves. Let's see here. See, it's so much easier with Scotty doing this. He does all the work.
Yeah, Andrew, that's a great. Andrew just had a great reason why we don't want to play the Rangers in the first round. Because whoever wins that series between the Rangers and the Devils in the first round is going to have the crap kicked out of them, and it emotionally is going to be spent going into that second round. Could work in your favor where you're like working on like that high. But you remember what happened when the Devils beat the Rangers in Eastern Conference Finals and went into the Stanley Cup Finals. It felt like there was a part of them that was like taken away. As a fan too, it was like you're like, oh, I spent so much of this love and passion and energy in that round. Like, I don't know if I have anything left. It felt like it took a little bit of a luster away from the Stanley Cup Finals. I just want if they end up playing the Rangers in the first round, they better win. But I also feel like if they beat the Rangers, maybe it'll be different. Maybe this will give them that like extra emotional boost to go into the second round.
Yeah, maybe.
Go ahead.
Are you ready? You got to tee it up. All right. Hold on a sec. I don't know how to do this without Scotty. Hold on. Because I know they're watching on the YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and here at American Whiskey. Let's try it without. It's hard to do it without Scotty, but this one's for you, Scotty. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast game update. Devils, Senators, playoff implications on the line. At Prudential Center, Devils up 4-3. Marino under center. He laterals to Nico Hischier. He throws to Tatar. Touchdown Devils! Touchdown Devils! Touchdown Devils! The Devils make the playoffs! The Devils make the playoffs! The Devils make the playoffs! And the Devils have clinched a playoff berth for the first time in 5 years. The Devils are now going to the Stanley Cup playoffs. How was that, Beer Baron?
Very good. That's good. That's
was
very
all right?
impressive.
Oh, okay.
Vince, just to let you know, this hat is from the Devil's Den in the stadium. I don't know if they have them anymore. They ran out real quick. This hat is probably one of my favorite ones. It's a dope hat. But
okay.
Listen, I'm seeing, and now God, we haven't had this feeling in so long. Devils fans, we can start talking. We're talking about the playoffs. Yes, we knew we were going to make the playoffs. It was a foregone conclusion that the team was going to make the playoffs for a while. When was the last time that we sat in March and we're like, all right, we got 100 points, we got it locked up, we're going to the playoffs, baby. We're going to the playoffs. And at this point, I feel energy from the crowd. I feel the energy from people on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, everybody else. I feel like that energy is.
I feel the energy with John Marino
we want
as our quarterback.
John Marino's shirtless picture.
John Marino.
Random.
I need to go,
man. Let's do this. I want to see Jack. I want to see the Devils take on the Rangers and take them out in 6 games, 4-2. Devils take the series 4-2. And do it with convincing fashion in Game 6, where it's not even a question. I don't know. Oh, it's they go out there and Jack puts up a hattie in the first period.
Well, you know what, Beer Baron? Jack Hughes, first star of the game. Jesper Bratt, second star of the game. Dougie Hamilton, third star of the game. Devils, we got to do it. 35 shots on goal, so it's raining pucks is what Scotty would say here on Devils After Dark. Hey, Peyton. It's actually Beer Baron. Hold on. We got Peyton.
Hi, Scotty.
No, it's Peyton.
No,
it's
hey,
Beer
Peyton,
Baron.
how's it going?
It's Beer Baron.
It's good. How are you? I lost my ones.
You guys are having a good time down there.
We're having fun. Yeah. This has been a fun week.
Yeah. For those that don't know, this is Peyton of American Whiskey.
The best damn bartender in the land.
Yes.
Woo!
Bartender.
Oh, that's loud.
Yeah. Pretty cool, huh?
Pretty cool. I love it. I'm a little better this time. Last time I was a little rusty.
Oh, okay. All right. But the Devils won tonight, right?
Super exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm really happy they won today as opposed to Tuesday.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that, though, because I'm a Devils fan, I promise. All right, I should get back to work.
All right.
Toodles.
Yep. Thank you, Peyton. That's Peyton of American Whiskey chiming in. Hey, how do you like the new set? You like this setup with the crowd in the background?
Yeah, I dig that. Instead of just a blank wall, it looks good, bud.
Well, actually, now that the camera's this way, I actually put our banner up now. You can't even see it.
OMI said she's a closet Minnesota fan. Is that true?
Well, she's from Minnesota. Fan? She's from Minnesota.
I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Now you're transplanted into the heart of it, so you have no choice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! I'm telling you, I'm pumped. I listen. I know somebody said it. I think it was Max said it on the YouTube Live group before.
Yep.
At the beginning of the year, how many have raised your hand if you thought you'd be sitting in March with 100 points and clinching a playoff spot? Going in the beginning of the season, seeing how everything was, bringing back Lindy Ruff, yes, all new coaching staff. But then, we had some of the same things going on. You still have Mackenzie Blackwood. You still had some of the things that were, the unanswered questions. They brought in Palat, so you're like, all right. And now we get to see Andre Palat, the playoff machine. Now we get to see, because everybody that complains that he's not doing enough, everybody that's like, oh, Palat's not scoring enough, Palat's not doing this enough, he's not doing that enough. First of all, I'm super pumped to see that he's on Jack's wing now, along with Dawson Mercer. I think those guys will be fine together, or do good together, or do well together. But Andre Palat, this is what he's built for. This is what we brought him in for. This is what Tommy Fitz gave him that contract for. Is when we get to the playoffs, is when he goes out and he does his thing. This team, by the way, I know there's a lot, like I said, the last 7 games, there's been a lot of holes that they need to fix. Defensively in our own zone, we leave people wide open. And it's crazy. Some of the goals that are let up, you look at the goaltenders and you're like, I'm sorry, man. Ooh, you can't even get mad. And these are the things, like, they need to tighten it up. They need to tighten up defensively. But you have guys like Andre Palat on the team now. You have guys that are going to be like, hey, listen, this is what it takes. This is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. And I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. I hope everybody's feeling good.
You know what? We as Devils fans deserve this. We deserve this, Beer Baron. You know why? Because the suffering has gone on for so many years. We've waited so patiently for this moment. We should just enjoy it. A playoff berth, 100-point team, a very good team, a very talented team with the pipeline of young talent that we haven't seen Luke Hughes yet, or Nemec.
Nope.
Or
nope.
Any of these young
by the
prospects.
Way, Luke Hughes, I know it's college hockey, but Luke Hughes lit it up in Michigan's game yesterday.
Yeah.
Lit it up. 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists. And one of those assists that he had, he walked along the boards, came around to behind the net, and was just like, here you go. Right to his teammate, here you go. Perfect little pass. Boop.
Yep.
So, do I expect them to do that in the NHL? No. But do I expect if they bring in Luke Hughes, like this last little section, like I said, and here's a great example. So here's a great example of saying, is it more important to win the Metro, or is it more important to bring guys in like Luke Hughes and say, okay, if we're going to bring him for the stretch down to the last stretch of games before we get to the playoffs, is that going to be like a, hey, buddy, here's your taste of the NHL, and then when we get to the playoffs, you're going to go and play in the AHL for the rest of the season? Or is it going to be, all right, Luke, now's your time to get your feet wet in the NHL. And oh, by the way, you will be slotting into a couple games in the playoffs. Or is it going to be, hey, buckle up, buddy. You're going to be on the roster and getting ready to rock and roll. So that tinkering, that like fine-tuning that happens from now until the beginning of the playoffs is going to be super important. It's going to be super important for like the development of certain players. Kevin Ball's game has really come around. And I know there's a lot of people that were saying in the beginning of the year, get him in some games as a bigger body, maybe he'll be a little bit more physical. Defensively, his game's come around. Is it perfect? No. He's still young. He's still pretty raw in certain areas. But he's starting to play a little bit better.
Oh, he's using his size right now, Beer Baron. I mean, he looks more confident. He's confident. And you know what? He came in with the right mindset to be ready at all times, because he was basically a spare part in the beginning of the season. But a developing player. It was that kind of catch-22 where you couldn't really get him in games at the NHL level, but you shouldn't really send him down to the AHL. But he worked and worked and worked. And now he is the 7th defenseman or 6th, and he's a big guy, and he's using his God-given ability to reach and use that size. I mean, he's what, 6'9", 6'10" on skates? I don't even know what the exact number is. But he looks big out there like a Chara, and that's intimidating. By the way, we got to give a shout out to Max for the super chat, for the victory bucks in the YouTube live. I got the message, Ramona. Thank you very much for reminding me, because there's a lot going on here at American Whiskey. The place is full. Everybody's having a good time. The beers are flowing. Peyton's behind the bar. Ariel. We've also got Evie. And also we got DJ Biscotti behind us, entertaining everybody here at American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center, as the Devils beat the Ottawa Senators 5-3, and now have that X next to their name and 100 points. There's a lot to do, Beer Baron. You've asked some great
clinching
questions.
Clinching cash.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good questions that you asked before, and oh yeah, don't forget the clinching cash too. Okay, thank you, Max. Now I know what you're talking about. I was like, what are you talking about, Beer Baron? And then I read the YouTube live.
Yeah, read the chat, man. Read the chat, man. I like Ramona says she's drinking a lot right now. Ramona, we should all be drinking a lot right now and celebrating responsibly, but we should all be having a couple of drinks to celebrate this beautiful victory on tonight.
Yeah. So Hamilton set the record.
19 goals.
19 goals.
19 goals.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Jack Hughes with 40.
And that's the thing. There's a lot of things that are happening on this team that are under the radar, or maybe that you don't really think about. And I know Severson gets a lot of hate, but he's been pretty damn steady. Like, Severson just makes plays where, you know, it just sticks out. Like drawing a penalty last night when they pulled the goalie. Or right before they were about to pull the goalie. So like the Devils are, 3, 4, 5 minutes away, like 4 minutes away from the end of the game. It was like 4:30 something around, and Severson takes a stupid penalty because he was about to get beat, and you couldn't really trust the goaltending in that game. So it was almost one of those penalties where you're like, all right, maybe it wasn't a bad penalty. It was a terrible penalty. Let's be honest, because you could have a stupid time in the game. Yeah. Because then you can't set up the extra man attack with enough time to make it work. But Severson's season has not been that terrible. Numbers-wise, not that terrible. For a bottom six defenseman, pretty much the entire season, has not been terrible. Dude, I would take his numbers and his production all day long for a bottom six. Now, granted, he's moved in and out of that kind of rotation of defensemen, especially when Marino was hurt. They were shuffling things around. But, he's the Paul Martin. Paul Martin used to get hated on like this. At points, Andy Green used to get hated on points like this. There's always going to be a defenseman that everybody takes a giant. Rafalski used to get hate. If you don't remember that, if you don't remember how much hate Rafalski used to get, Paul Martin. I think Paul Martin used to get it worse. Paul Martin used to get crucified out there. And I'm like, dude, he's a really good defenseman. And then he went to the Penguins and won a couple of cups, and everyone's like, oh, why'd we get rid of him, or why'd we let him walk? Because you hated him. You talked trash about him every game. And then that's just what happens. It's always going to be, the goalie is never going to be good enough because of Marty. And then defensemen are never going to be good enough because Scotty Stevens, Scotty Niedermayer, guys like that. But
yeah. Also, Stacy White in the Facebook Live was at the game. She says, hey, Sam. Rob Klobosis, yes, Devils diehards. He wanted to do a big woo for us. Got the sound bites here. VJ says Palat may not be in the stats, but I haven't seen anything out of him to think he hasn't been playing good hockey. Palat, let Palat be Palat. Let's not worry about statistics, and I agree. Don't worry about the statistics. Palat's already doing his job. The leadership is there. Nico is the captain. He's got horses under him or with him. He's got players that got his back right now. And
Yeah.
and I love how they just went Miles Wood went after Brady Tkachuk today, because I think all of us wanted that to happen today.
Well, two things too. Number one is just to be clear, I was not comparing David Severson with Brian Rafalski or Paul Martin. Not at all. Rafalski was way better than Severson will ever be. I think Paul Martin, when he was with the Devils, was more comparatively to what Severson is. But the point that I was trying to make is that there's always like a defenseman that the fan base hates on for like no reason.
Yeah.
Severson makes it easier to hate on him when he scores like goals off his own butt into his own net, or like takes a dumb penalty or something like that. But either way, and moving on. Or
scores scores on Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah. But moving on from that, Palat is a perfect player for this team in the sense of what they're going to need going into the playoffs. They're going to need somebody that has that experience. And I know there is also a large group of people out there that will say, like, well, that doesn't matter. Like, oh, Palat having experience in the playoffs and winning a couple of cups, that doesn't really matter. And that, to me, is like one of the stupidest things to say. Playoff experience goes a hell of a long way. He's been in every situation that you can think of. He's won 2 Stanley Cups. He's lost a Stanley Cup. He's been in the last 3, for crying out loud. The experience that you gained going through that, the experience you gained going through each of those rounds, by going through the Eastern Conference Finals, by going through the Stanley Cup Finals, all that knowledge and what he's able to pass on to this young team. Because don't forget, this is Jack Hughes. This is his first time that he's been in the playoffs. The only time that Nico Hischier's been in the playoffs was his rookie season. So this team is getting, a lot of these guys have never been. So now, like, you have, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dougie Hamilton's been to the playoffs. There's a couple of guys that have been to the playoffs on the roster. Severson was on the team. A couple of guys on the team that were the last time the Devils made it to the playoffs. So you have that, but the experience and the knowledge that Palat can bring, and don't forget, the dude is absolutely clutch.
Oh yeah,
clutch in the playoffs.
All you have to do is watch that Tampa Bay highlight video, and then you know what to expect in the playoffs out of Palat. I don't want to put a lot of pressure on the guy, but when you look at him right now in the regular season, he's doing all the right things. And you know what? That third line was a problem for the last few years. The Devils have a solid third line.
Thank you, Max. Tatar and Graves. Yeah, Tatar went to the Stanley Cup Finals with Montreal, if I'm not mistaken.
In the bubble.
The bubble year. The weird bubble year.
Yeah.
Paul has been to the playoffs. Right? Yeah, see, there's a lot of guys that have had that experience that are going to be able to, like, pass that knowledge on.
Payne's having a good time. Oh, wow. Woo!
Good times. This is what happens, man.
Yeah.
Wait until, and you know what my favorite thing in the world is going to be? Going to a playoff game, going to American Whiskey, having a couple of drinks, walking out into that street where it's packed, shoulder to shoulder with Devil fans who are pumped up, warm weather hockey. Dude,
yeah.
It's the best time of year. In playoff hockey,
yeah.
Nothing beats playoff hockey.
Wearing shorts outside. And there's Kevin, our good friend Kevin of the podcast, managing partner of American Whiskey, wearing the American Whiskey sweatshirt.
Buddy.
Yeah. So he's having a good time here. I mean, Kevin's a Devils fan. Peyton is a Devils fan, except for when they play the Minnesota Wild. That'll be our little secret. But that's okay. Yeah, it's definitely popping tonight. It's definitely popping tonight here. I mean, there's people outside, Beer Baron. It's not even 11 p.m. yet.
No, it's even better. So now, is there a sense of relief in the building that the Devils have now clinched a playoff spot? Like, do you feel like the players have this like overwhelming sense of relief? Like, all right, cool, we're good, we're in. Like now, it's just like, do you think any of them look ahead? Do you think there's any of them that are looking at it right now and saying like, all right, as of right now, we play the Rangers. It's been that way for a while, right? It's been that way. Like, Devils Rangers have been kind of on a crash course for the first round. But
Thank you, Ronaldo. Thank you, Ronaldo, for the super chat.
Thank you, Ronaldo.
Ronaldo Lion. Thank you so much.
Yeah. But I wear shorts all the time. Who are you? Wait. JP. Is JP really shorts guy?
No, JP's not shorts guy. Shorts guy.
No, he said he wears shorts all the time.
Oh, okay.
Is that shorts guy? But yeah, dude, seriously. I mean, like, do you think the players actually have these conversations? Like, would they have preferences, like, who they want to play? Do you think the Devils, like, if you went into the locker room right now, maybe not right now, but, like, if you went into, like, the practice, and you were like, do you guys want to play the Rangers first round? And you were to get an honest answer from them, like an honest 100%, like, no BS kind of answer, do you think they would tell you all to a man that, like, yeah, we want the Rangers? Do you think they care?
I don't think they care.
We're in.
I don't think they care, but you know what? Honestly, when it comes to Thursday night at the Rock, the March 30th game, it's going to give, because it's such a meaningful game this late in the season, which we haven't had in a while, Beer Baron, that game's going to mean something to the players because you just do not lose to the New York Rangers. It doesn't matter what year it is. And the fans are going to show up. My only concern about that, and I hate to be a spoiler, is a lot of these Ranger fans bought up these tickets back in September, not knowing not knowing. So you got to bring your best. What's done is done. You got to bring your best. Devils fans, I'm telling you, Shesterkin is good, but you know what? The Devils are better. The Devils have speed. They've got so many weapons. And, you know, if they played well defensively and the penalty kills.
That scares the Rangers is speed. That's the one thing. Gallant said that the other day. I forget who they lost to, but they lost the game recently, and he was like, we can't keep up with their speed. Yeah. He's like, and that's how we get killed every time. We can't keep up with their speed. Yeah, they have Patty Kane. Talk about experience. They have Patty Kane. They have Tarasenko. They have, Panarin. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. Like, they're a solid team. Do they scare me? Some parts of them do. Like, it feels like they can score pretty much at will recently. But sometimes that can bite you in the ass because sometimes it's, they're going on these goal runs now, and then you tighten up in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden that open ice starts to shrink.
Yep.
And those lanes start to go away, and people start putting you on your ass when you're trying to be fancy with the puck. So, do I think that the Devils have a solid chance of beating the Rangers if they face them in the first round? Hell yeah. And I say that confidently. It's not just like a biased Devils opinion. I truly, honestly believe that they have a very strong chance to beat the Rangers in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
If this team can correct some of the mental mistakes that they've been, creating these defensive lapses in their own zone, if they can just stop hanging the goaltender out to dry, which I don't know where the hell this is coming from, and their defensive coach or whoever's really, crossing the T's and dotting the I's on that end of it, needs to step in and be like, boys, all right, whatever the hell we're doing. You have 4 guys chasing in the corner. One of the goals that Ottawa scored today, you see 4 Devils just chasing right into the corner. You're like, the hell are we doing? So they tighten that crap up. You get good goaltending out of Vitek Vanacek. And there's something that I noticed about Vitek. Vitek is going to allow 2 goals. It's just going to happen. He will have a stellar game. He's going to allow 2 goals. In every game that he's played well, still allows 2 goals. But it doesn't matter because the Devils will score 4. The Devils will score 5. The Devils will score 3. So it seems like it's not a big deal, but he's going to allow those 2 goals. It's just a matter of, like, we have to crack the code on Shesterkin, which I think they will, and just just skate around him. Skate around, just play the game that you know you can play.
Yeah.
Use your speed to your advantage, and then just take them to town. Take them to town. Embarrass them. Get Gallant fired. That should be the goal. Get Gallant fired. Because, he's in, is he in year 3 yet? He's in year 2. Year 2?
Who
He's only got
cares?
1 year left before he gets fired.
Yeah, his shelf life is
fired.
His shelf life is running out. Yeah, and Ariel Fernandez made a good point in the YouTube live. I'm just trying to find. Said the Rangers have the more pressure to win now. Devils can use that to their advantage. I absolutely agree. The Rangers were on that rebuild just like the Devils. Capocacco, Lafreniere, and then they just blew it up and win now. And the Devils, they did it the right way. They suffered through a lot of adversity, growing pains, but those days are over. The Devils are a 100-point team now. They are seeking to be an elite team right now. They just got to prove themselves, and that's why Thursday's game is so crucial. But before Thursday, you have to play the New York Islanders, who are desperate right now to get a spot in the postseason. Lou Lamoriello's teams are always tough to beat. So you got to take care of business on Monday at UBS Arena. And then you got the New York Rangers on Thursday. And you know what? We'll be here at Game Day Live and Devils After Dark Thursday here at American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center. We're going to have a light pack, very limited pack of Rangers Suck confetti here at American Whiskey. Just basically a little bit of a Ziploc bag full. There, Baron. And it's going to be it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. And I just can't wait. I mean, you remember the January 7th game. This place was just hopping. Like at 11 a.m. 11 a.m., this place was packed.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to say, Antu said it really nicely. We've beaten the Rags twice already this year. There's a reason they're chasing us for a reason. The Devils, the Devils might not have been a pretty looking team over the last 7 to 10. But I'll tell you what, this team finds a way.
Yeah.
Confidence on the road is insane. Insane. The confidence that this team has on the road. So the way I look at it is getting into the playoffs. Keep everybody healthy. Keep everybody safe. Let Jack cook. Let him do his thing. Let him heat up. Whoever, and I hope Lindy now is kind of like formulating a plan like, okay, it's going to be Vitek's net. If it's going to be Vitek's net, at least get him in some meaningful games. Start putting him like consecutively into games, like 3-4 games in a row. Start getting him built up. Like if you know who your number one's going to be, like bringing in Mackenzie Blackwood tonight was good and all. Is that okay? Mack is now back, and Schmidt's going to go back to the AHL. Who knows?
Yep.
But whoever he decides is going to be the number one, start riding that goaltender for the rest of the season, getting them ready. Like, don't ride them into the ground. Obviously, you don't want to like kill them before you get to the playoffs, but still.
Yeah. Well, my favorite fans from Virginia Beach is back there. Come up. Why don't you come up? Kayla? Kayla, come up.
Damn it. Canes beat.
Hold on a sec. We've got our fans here from Virginia Beach. I think they deserve to be on the podcast. Hold on a sec here. Hold on a sec. Come on, Kayla. There you go.
It's official.
Yeah, put on the headset. I'll turn on the Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, that's the camera
going
over
on?
there.
Hi.
We got Beer Baron over there. There's Beer
How you
Baron.
doing?
He is the crew.
Oh, man. It's my
And
30th
crew,
birthday,
and
guys.
crew.
Happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yes, we
Hey,
won.
what a way to
I got a
celebrate.
suite.
Wow.
It was nice. Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Yes, and we
Now,
got
were
the
you
whole
in the suite
family.
for-
Oh, I see the whole family
Yeah.
back there. Wow, that's crazy. Let's try to get a camera angle on the family. I don't know if we do. Oh, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Hold on a sec here.
A pretty amazing way to spend your birthday. So, what were your thoughts about the game?
I'm excited. We were talking to our rep about playoffs tickets, so that's awesome.
Do
Very
you have
excited.
season tickets here?
We don't. No,
Oh, you
because
don't?
we live in Virginia, so we have a rep that's like, he's like our good friend. So
Oh, okay.
we'll get tickets pretty often. But yeah, so
Oh,
we're trying
wow.
to figure out playoffs, like when we're going to go and that kind of thing. I was excited.
Do you guys drive up for the game?
Do we
Or
drive
do you,
up? Yeah.
Do you,
Wow.
Yeah,
do you
so
drive
we,
home after this? Or do you stay in the area?
we'll go home tomorrow. So we stay at the hotel that like shares a parking garage.
Oh, the Marriott
nice.
Courtyard.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah. If you find my Fitbit, I left it there last time I stayed
Yes,
there.
your what?
My Fitbit.
Oh, I'll look for it.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah, so we drive 6 hours. So we all worked till like 5 or 6 yesterday, and then we got in at like 2 a.m. last night.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's
Wow.
awesome. Very
Fun
cool.
time.
Very
See,
cool.
we have fans come over from like all sorts of places, like Virginia Beach,
Yes.
and this is like my 5th time seeing them.
I know. We
The
try
family.
and come. We try and come. And if we know you're here, we almost texted you to see if you wanted to join us in the suite, but we thought you couldn't bring your equipment.
Oh,
Oh, next time.
next time. On your 31st birthday, we're gonna do
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yes.
But wait, quick question. So, down in Virginia Beach, how did you all become Devils fans? Like,
Oh,
was it somebody
man.
transplanted from up here?
No, we're actually from Virginia Beach, so everybody near us is like upset that we're not Capitals fans. But pre-COVID, we came up to New York a lot. And so I just looked up sports near New York and took my husband to a Devils game, and we didn't want to be the only people in street clothes. And it was Jack Hughes' first point against the Rangers.
Wow.
And then we came back that following Sunday, and it was Jack Hughes' first goal, and they won both games, which was a setup because then they lost pretty much the rest of the entire season.
That is crazy.
But we committed, and
That's
there we
what-
are. Yeah.
And the entire
There you go.
family is
That's
Devils.
awesome.
Yeah, we converted everybody. Within like 2 or
Wow.
3 months, we
Amazing.
brought the whole family up. Yeah.
Wow, that is
That's so
crazy.
Yeah. So should be
That's
Caps
so
fans, but Devils fans.
Yeah.
Ah,
you made the right
you know
choice.
what?
You made the
Yeah.
right
You made a great choice. You
Devils
don't
are
want to
more
go to
fun.
that dump anyway.
Yeah. Devils have a good community too. I think that's our favorite
Yeah.
part.
Plus, it's very
Yeah.
like online savvy,
Yeah.
which is how this podcast grew, by the way.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
we
we
started
love
started
it.
on Facebook Live. You remember those days, Beer Baron?
Yeah, long time
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. Remember those days where? Hold on. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. well,
So if you're planning on going to the playoffs, like how are you guys going to have to figure out like your work schedule and drive up 6 hours for the playoffs, or are you going to try to go to all the games, or like one, or?
So my husband's schedule's a little more complicated than mine. Like I'm down to go to as much as I can. I have way more flexibility, but for him, we'll have to plan a little bit more. I'm hoping we've already guaranteed one. Hopefully more than that. But
Okay.
Awesome. Very cool.
Well,
Very cool.
you can always hang out here at American Whiskey.
yes, that's
Yes.
what we were talking about. We were like, we have to go because we actually just got Siegenthaler just signed my hat.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we
No
were
way,
walking
yeah?
out. Yeah, so I was like, we have to go over there and say hi.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yes, it's been a good
That's very
birthday.
cool.
I told you, good birthday
Awesome.
so
Yeah.
far.
This is a great birthday.
Yes.
A great Marty Brodeur birthday, number
Yes.
30.
Yeah,
Number 30.
exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Wow.
Well, I got to tell you, listen, have a good time tonight. Party up. You guys enjoy American whiskey. I don't know what time they close their doors, but tell Peyton to get a beer on us. Sam, can you make that happen? Can you
Yeah, I
get
can
a
make
beer
that
on
happen.
us?
Yeah, I can make it happen.
Oh, my
Don't worry,
goodness.
don't worry about it.
Sam, I'll Venmo you the money if you need it.
Oh,
But
y'all are so nice.
I know where you live, Beer Baron.
I'm just
I'll tear down that shed that Nikki built.
Yeah, no, right? Hey, listen, happy birthday. Enjoy
Yeah.
a drink on us. was awesome. Thank you for coming on and talking and everything.
Oh my goodness, of
Great.
course. Thank
Have
you
a great
guys
night.
so much.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll make those arrangements happen, Beer Baron.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the party's just starting here in American Whiskey. I feel like it's an infomercial, but it's not. This is what we do as Devils fans, you know. And Beer Baron's having
Good time, man.
having a
I'm
drink.
having a beverage too.
Yep.
I'm having it's Saturday night, baby.
Yep.
Saturday night, clinch a playoff.
Yep.
It's a good day. Good day.
Yeah.
And I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, yesterday's game against Buffalo, it was one of those wasted opportunities. And like, I don't know about you or anybody else. After the game, I was pissed. I was pissed off. I was like, Jack, yeah, it was great. Jack scored, and it felt good that the team was like coming back. Pieces of it were starting to come back. Jack getting back into the score sheet is huge.
Absolutely huge.
The fact that he's starting to score is even better. Like getting an assist for Jack would have been great, but the fact that he started scoring again, and especially in the last few games, like the way he's putting together, like that's what needs to happen. He needs to start getting hot, and this team starts to need to kind of all those little pieces that are broken that we keep talking about. They need to start putting those things together, and they will be a dangerous team come playoff time.
Absolutely. And you know what, Beer Baron?
Thank you, Ramona.
What do you oh, yeah. Beer Baron, you're doing a great job. Thank you, Ramona, for reminding me.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
But it's not easy to being an E-bub. Being an E-bub, it's kind of like Kevin Ball. Kevin, you have to be ready.
I'm going to tell you the truth, brother. I was putting my kids to sleep, watching the game on my phone, trying to keep the volume as low as I could.
Yeah.
And like Dougie Hamilton scores that goal, and I'm just like, yes. Like, if you're a parent, or if you've ever had to like celebrate quietly, you know exactly what I'm talking to. Like, you ever had to like celebrate when you're like somebody's sleeping in the next room, or if you have a baby in the next room? You have like quiet, it's pumping. You're like these mumbling sounds. So when you text me like, "Hey, is anybody available?" I'm like, I would love to do this. This is a great night to celebrate. I'm glad to celebrate with everybody on Facebook Live. Dude, this show wouldn't be possible. You wouldn't be at American Whiskey right now if it weren't for everybody on Facebook Live, for all of our friends on YouTube Live, for people coming up saying hello at the bar. And you better buy them a drink. Don't make us look bad. Don't make me look bad. That I said we'll get them a drink.
Oh, we'll get it.
But
got a whole family here, I'll take care of it, Beer Baron.
Well, yeah, the whole family, I forgot. Let's get a pitcher. Get 2 pitchers. It'd be cheaper that way.
Now we're a bunch of cheap asses right now, right?
No, I forgot that you brought a whole family.
Yeah.
How about you? Like, how many people you brought? 15.
It wasn't in the fine print.
Damn it! I said you. I get you a beer. We're working people. We don't get paid. We don't get sponsorship yet.
Yeah, yet.
I mean,
Woo! They're playing Palat's song right now in the background. When he was with Tampa Bay.
Why can't the Devils do that?
I don't know.
It makes no sense. Like why the Devils
Andre
can't do like
Palat. Anyway, can you hear it in the background?
Oh yeah, we can hear the music. Somebody actually left. Somebody who's listening and said, "I can't take the music anymore," and left. Like, I can't take the music anymore. I love you guys. Let's go Devils, and then peace out.
Well, Beer Baron, final thoughts.
It's good to be back, baby. It's good to be back.
It's great to be back. It is amazing. This place is about to go nuts.
So, for all the people that are like, we're happy that the team made it to the playoffs. No. We want the cup. That's what we want. We want the cup. Good.
Absolutely.
We're in the playoffs. Great. I'm glad we're in the playoffs. But you know what we want? We want to take this baby as far as we can go.
Yeah.
Let it ride. Let it ride. Don't be happy with just making it. Don't be happy with like a first-round exit. Be pissed if you get kicked out in the first round. Make a run. Prove to the league that this team is here. And this team is here to stay. Jack Hughes is a superstar. Show this league that the Devils are real. And that this isn't just a little flash in the pan. That this isn't just a one-season wonder. That we didn't catch. What do they say? Lady Luck or whatever the hell that is. Lightning in a bottle. No. That this is proof that this team is now going to be a perennial cup contender. That's what we want.
I wish you were here, Beer
That's
Baron.
my final thought. Oh, I'd be chugging a beer right now.
There we got Peyton in the background. Oh, boy. Well, we're going to have to play that song when Palat is scoring goals in the playoffs. I'll have to do a little bit more research of Palat and Neil Diamond songs a little bit later. Want to thank all those tuning in on the YouTube Live and Facebook Live and Twitter Live and Twitch. I want to give a shout out to all the people on Twitter, the people that my one fan and the people that don't like me. It's all good. It's all good. Devils are in the playoffs. It's all about us, Devils fans against the world, and it's time to unite. Now that we've clinched, it's time to unite. It's about New Jersey. It's about the New Jersey Devils, and it's about us. They're doing the impossible right now. They're breaking records, and that is something to be proud of. And this season will continue, and I hope this will last as long as it can. But we've got 2 games coming up against the Islanders and the New York Rangers. It's going to be a big one, Beer Baron. And on that note, I wish you were here right now, Beer Baron. And
Me too, buddy.
Also, shout out to Scotty and Shorts Guy, Nick, and Vinny Parisi. I don't think any of us got our predictions right tonight, but there's one thing that we did predict, that this is going to be a very special team.
No, Shorts Guy said 5-3. He said 5-3.
He did?
Where
did he say that?
Right on the nose.
Oh, my goodness.
In our group.
Well, thanks, Beer Baron. Oh, thanks,
Hey,
Beer Baron.
Hopefully
So
you're
Shorts
having a
Guy,
beer too, my friend.
so Shorts
Here's
Guy
to all
finally
you
got
guys.
one right. Everything's going right tonight. Everything's going right tonight. So, but anyway, I'm going to hit the music right now. Again, thank you to everybody dropping the podcast at midnight. Thank you, Beer Baron, for coming out, and thank you to the family from Virginia. Thank you to Peyton. Make sure to tip your bartenders. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for the Sunday edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Till next time, let's go Devils.